much everyone for coming back to my channel and listening in the podcast. Like I always say, I really appreciate you guys being here. It is Sunday, April 30th, 2023. It's the last day of the month, you guys. And this morning we woke up with the news of a person who killed five of his neighbors. In this happened in Texas. And let me just tell you something because this is how the world is right now, and it's very sad that this is happening, that you can no longer reach out to your neighbors and say, hey, do you mind keeping it down before anybody going crazy on you? And the reason that I say that is because last year I was in a situation also where I had an issue with noise with my one of my neighbors. And after, I was like, okay, they're new people here, let me just give them time to settle, right? And after like a month I was like, you know what, this is insane. I can't believe they waking me up making noise at 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning. So I made a complaint, right? And when my landlord came back and said, maybe the office, the leasing office is suggesting that you go and talk to them. And I was like, absolutely not. There's insane. It would be insane for me to go knock on my neighbor's door at 4 in the morning, 3 in the morning, to ask them to keep it quiet, because that is insane. Like, I will be so embarrassed if at 3 in the morning I will have one of my neighbors knocking on my door asking me to keep it quiet. We should be more we should have more human conscience for everybody. Everybody deserves, to live whatever it is that they're living, regardless of the neighborhood, to live in peace and to have that quiet time. This shooting that happened in Cleveland, Texas, and I'm sure that by now everybody knows about, happened over a noise complaint. And the crazy thing is that the family went to this neighbor's home and said, hey, do you mind stop practicing your shooting, because we have a newborn in the home. And this is around 11:40 p.m., right, on a Friday night. And I understand, noise law are different everywhere, but when you already have your neighbor coming to you already past 10 p.m., the a normal human being, right, I hope, right, will be like, oh my goodness, I do apologize, I will keep it down. I didn't mean to be loud or whatever, right? But these days, this is how the world is right now. Nobody has compassion for anybody, apparently, right? So they go to his house and they say, hey, we have a brand new baby who's we're trying to get him to sleep. You keep practicing your shooting. He's shooting his gun in the backyard. Like, how traumatizing must have been for those children, for a newborn. They're trying to get him to sleep. When people complain, there are people who complain out of anything. I understand that, but when you have people who complain and you like a little hesitant, like, I don't even know, I don't want them to get mad at me, but this is just out of line, right? They must have been hearing that for a long time for them to make the decision to say, we can't do this anymore. Somebody, we gotta go and talk to this guy, because it's almost midnight. He's still shooting his gun. The baby cannot fall asleep. And then this man is gonna turn around and get upset about it and go and shoot the entire family. Like, what in the world is going on, guys? That's just the works of the enemy. There's no human compassion anymore. Like, are you kidding me? Like, they're telling you it's a newborn, and people are gonna say, well, the guy is a criminal. He was living here illegal, got deported twice. But, and he was probably drunk. Okay, I understand that. But, that might a little bit be like, what do you expect? He was drunk. He's a crazy drunk guy. But it has happened before. They say that this is an occurrence in that neighborhood where they hear it's so normal. Like, one of the neighbors were speaking in the interview and for a TV station. She said, this is so normal. We hear these shootings all the time. We hear them shooting and practicing gun all the time. Like, first of all, there should be some type of law. Like, don't be practicing, make sure you have your, your permit, make sure you're in the right area to practice. And if it's inconvenience for your neighbors, you should not be doing that. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, there's no, there's no like human compassion anymore. Like, for your neighbor to leave their home after 11 p.m. to go and knock on your door, it's almost midnight, to go and tell you, can you please keep it down because we have a brand new baby, and you're gonna get upset. And they can say he was drunk or whatever, but this man went astray and shoot everybody. In my imagination, right, I don't drink, nothing like that, but from what I've seen, people who are drunk, they barely can keep their balance, right? So I don't know what was going on here. Maybe there's something else to this guy. He was so drunk that he went and shoot all these people and right on target, and then he was able to escape. And today, he still has not been found yet. So there is a manhunt for this man, and his name is, let me just tell you his name, Francisco Oropesa. He is the suspect in the mass shooting in Cleveland, Texas that happened on April 29. It just happened yesterday, okay? Let me just read to you guys some of this article in case you haven't heard all the details of the story. But 5 people are dead after being shot in a Texas home by a suspect armed with an AR-15 style rifle in a horrific series of execution-style shooting, police said. A manhunt is currently underway, like I said, for the suspect identified by San Jacinto County Sheriff's Office as 38-year-old Francisco Oropesa. The FBI Houston field office said it is assisting in the ongoing search. A judge has issued an arrest warrant for Oropesa and signed a $5 million bond. He believed to have fled the country and is considered armed dangerous. This drunk guy, crazy guy, right? He was so drunk, he was able to kill all these people, escape, and now he's already out of the country. Like, he was not drunk, right? I don't think people who are drunk, they lose, their sense of, like ability, like a lot of stuff, right? So I don't think this man was not fully drunk like they wanted to say. Some news channels are trying to say, oh yeah, he was probably drunk. No, this man is crazy. He's a criminal, okay? And one of the things I have to say here, though, I saw that one of the dad, right? Because there was a couple people involved that lost their life. So one of the dads is being interviewed by the cameras, and you can see he's being like, I like. Also, I think, side note here, some of these reporters, come on, you have to keep it, have a little more respect. This man just lost like a lot of people from his family in his own home, being shot by the neighbor. Like, don't put the camera on his face. Nobody wants to see that. This man is in pain. You can see the dad in pain because of what he's still probably trying to process everything. Like, come on, have some type of, moral, like morality, and like, don't do that. Don't be putting the camera on his face, just trying to, show him that he's having, you know, he's crying and having a lot of pain. Like, we don't need to see all of that. It's already a very horrific news as it is, right? So it says here, this 30-year-old neighbor, Francisco Oropesa, they believe he fled the country. So neighbors asked the suspect shooting to stop shooting his gun in the yard. Police said that the incident occurred at 11:30 p.m. on Friday evening, so on the 28th, right? This past Friday, when officials from the San Jacinto County office received a call about harassment in the town of Cleveland, about 55 miles north of Houston. When authorities arrived at the location, they found several victims shot at the property. Police said 3 of the deceased were female and 2 were male, including the youngest, an 8-year-old boy. Like, I can't. This is so crazy. This is how you like, this is just the works of the enemy, guys. In the last days, the love of many will get cold. People will be lovers of themselves. How dare you come in my house telling me to keep it quiet? That's what that's what I'm saying. Like, these days, you no longer, you have to be so careful how you tell people, hey, you mind keeping the music down? Like, I'm trying to sleep, it's already midnight, you're being loud. Because then people will turn around and do crazy stuff like that. There's no human compassion. Like, it will really hurt me if one of my neighbors, I don't play music loud, or if I play, like, it's during the day. Like, if one of my neighbors, how embarrassing it will be for me as a person, that I have to have one of my neighbors get out of their bed late at night during the evening hours, like early morning hours, to try to tell me to keep it quiet because they're trying to sleep. Shame on me if that ever happens. But these days, when somebody says, hey, you know, do you mind keeping the music down? How dare you come in my telling me to keep it down? Like, that's how people are these days. It's crazy. And then this man, crazy guy, went in and was told, can you keep it? Can you stop? I mean, he's not even music. It's like, you're shooting, you're target practicing in your backyard. We have kids here, we have a baby. The shootings are probably terrifying the baby. When you hear gunshots, you're like, you start shaking, especially in a newborn. And this man took offense to that, because offense is the beginning of everything bad in your life. The minute you take offense of something, you have to really check yourself, right? And then he went crazy on them. It's so crazy, guys. So keep this family in your prayers, and I hope they cut the by the end of today. It's already after 5 p.m. on a Sunday evening. I hope by the end of the night we have the news that this man got caught. Let me just read to you guys before I finish. Um, two feel. Two female victims were discovered in the bedroom lying on top of two surviving children, because the heroes, right? Thanks be to God for that. Heroes trying to protect children. I believe one of the ladies was hugging them so that they don't get hit by this crazy man. And this is how life is, guys. Unpredictable. That's why you can't. Everybody's like, oh yeah, no, I'm gonna seek God when I'm older. I'm gonna do this. You have to, just as we don't know when we're gonna die, like when we're gonna be born, we don't know when we're gonna die. So don't ever don't put away getting to having a relationship with Jesus Christ, because you just never know. One day you're in your home doing your, just living your life, right? And then you ask your neighbor to keep the music down, and this crazy guy is gonna take offense to that, right? Because how dare you complain to your neighbors after 2 in the morning to keep it down, and they're gonna come and shoot you because of that, right? This is how the world is. It's very dangerous. Same thing with driving. People are driving so erratically these days. It's crazy. So it says here, 3 minors were located uninjured but covered in blood. They were transported to a local hospital. Police said they believe the massacre occurred after neighbors asked the suspect to stop shooting his gun in the front yard because there was a baby trying to sleep. This man took offense to that. I don't care if they were yelling at him, can you keep it down? Because people are going to say, you also got to watch how you ask people to do this. No, it's already after midnight. It's close to midnight. You're shooting your gun in the front yard. Like, yeah, they're going to get upset, and now that I know how this man was approached, nothing like that, because now everybody has to be baby. If you don't say please, I'm not going to help you. Like, people need, like, seriously. That's how it is these days. You didn't say thank you to me, so what is that? Lovers of themselves. It says here also, my understanding is that the victims, they came over the fence and said, hey, could you shooting can you they ask this is how they ask him, right? Hey, could you not do your shooting in the yard? We have a young baby that's trying to go to sleep and having drink, and he had been drinking and said, I'll do what I want in my front yard. Exactly, that's how the world is right now. His response was, I'll do what I want. Who are you to come in my house, you know, not in my house, to come and approach me telling me that I'm being loud in my house? That's how people are these days. You can no longer have, you know, obviously it's not everybody, right? Like I said, it will really break. It will really be, I would feel so ashamed if I had to have one of my neighbors knock on my door and be like, can you keep it down when it's like, what, 2 in the morning? Like, first of all, I would not be that loud. And if that ever get to happen, I would be so embarrassed, man. You have no idea. Um, so what people say, I can do what I want. I'm in my front yard. That's what basically what this guy said. This coward got offense to that, went into the home, killed all these 5 people. Now he's hiding from the police, and they believe he's already in a different country. So he trying to be all tough to them, and now he can even come and face what he did, right? Um, Police say the shootings all took place in one home. The victims were all from Honduras, and the 4 victims were declared dead at the scene. The 5th victim, an 8-year-old boy, was taken to a hospital and has been since pronounced dead. So the 8-year-old was taken to a hospital alive, and then he died at the hospital. Capers said the footage of they did have a ring bell. It says here, Capers said, one of the detective, the footage from the ring bell at the victim's house shows the shooter entering the home where the shooting took place with a weapon. The suspect was believed to be intoxicated at the time. That's the thing, everybody's saying he was drunk. People who are drunk, they can't even keep up their balance, right? And that's why the police do that test. People who are drunk are not gonna go and shoot right on target, walking back into the house, shoot right on target, and then disappear so well that people are not being able to find him yet. Like, no, he may have been drinking, that's a different thing, but this man was not drunk, okay? We are not going to stop until we arrest him and put him into custody. That's what they're saying. The police is saying. So keep this family in your prayers, everybody. Let me know what your thoughts are about this shooting that took place. It's so crazy. Let me know also if you ever had an encounter with bad neighbors. And I'm also very thankful for we had great neighbors. Also people who look out for you. Always, the Bible says, love your neighbor as yourself, right? So, and I understand that that's just not the people living next to you, but you have to understand if you live far away from your family, your immediate help is your next door neighbor, like the people next to you, the people that you live nearby. So have more compassion, but also let me know in the comments, any stories that you have about neighbors. And like I said, keep this family in your prayers. I asked before I finish, I was gonna tell you something else. I did get the names of everybody, so let's keep these families involved. So here are the 5 victims. 5, yeah. Sonia Argentina Guzman, she was 25 years old. Diana Velasquez Alvarado, 21 years old. Julissa Molina Rivera, 31 years old. Jonathan Cáceres, 18 years old. And Daniel Enrique Lazo, 8 years old. Everybody, all of them lost their life this past Saturday, yesterday morning, early hours of Saturday. So keep this family in your prayers, everybody, and keep the community of Honduras in your prayers. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Have a good day, everybody. God bless. Hi everybody, this is Julissa. I'm here to invite you to my podcast, Julissa Designs, and it can be found on Anchor, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. You can join me every day as I make episodes of the latest news, real life stories, and I also share my favorite Bible verse. Hope to see you then. God bless. Everybody, this is Julissa. Thank you so much for coming to my YouTube channel. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And if you want to know more about me, you can always visit www.julissadesigns.com. Have a great day, everybody. God bless.